After we've set our subgrade for our permeable patio, the next application is to install our screed pipes. We use 1-inch metal tubing, and we set them with a 4-foot level on the board, and then we put in our granite chips, which you'll see in a moment, and we screed them out. Now once we apply our granite chips, then we carefully screed them along with a 2x4 along our screed pipes, as he's doing right now. Usually you have to go over it 2 or 3 times to make sure you have a good screed, so your bricks will lay even. After our screed is complete, the next step will be laying the brick. Here we've started in the corner. We need to square up the pattern, and then we start laying out from the inside corner out, keeping your lines square and straight. And then we're gonna lay this whole section out here, and we pulled our other pipe and we screed it in where our pipe was with a trowel. And then if you pan down, you see the pipe here. We leave that one in so we can hopscotch them for the rest of the way. We screed out and then start our next section. Now that we've squared up our patio, we're laying brick in 2 to 3 foot sections, trying to break up our lines. Our lines can be no longer than 2 to 3 feet. Usually I like to keep them 2 feet or less, and you just keep trying to use the equal amount of each brick and keep your lines straight and tight. Once you're finished installing your pavers, you put your snap edge in along the edges. You go every 3 holes, you put a 12-inch spike in, and you set your edging just below the top of your pavers. Then you sweep in the sand evenly throughout all the cracks. Keep sweeping it in, and then once you're finished sweeping in all the cracks, you sweep all the excess off the edges and then plate pack it. Once you've completed sweeping the sand in all the seams, you take your plate compactor, which is right here, and you run that over one time around all the seams. Once you finish that, you sweep everything off, get it cleaned out, re-sweep it with some good clean sand, fill up all the cracks completely, and then you sweep everything off again, make sure it's real clean for the customer. Okay, now that we finished digging our trench and setting our drain tile for our French drain, we connected from the tile running underneath the patio. We also connected where it teed off on the corner of the foundation. We have a 3rd piece connecting in from underneath the boulder wall. As you can see, the water is already starting to drain out, and we fill our trench with about a foot of 3/4 clear sewer rock, and then at the end we're going to have a 90 with a pop-up, and then after that we put filter fabric over the top and about 6 inches of sandy fill, and then we regrade everything out, and that's our French drain.
On the last job site, you saw some drain tile being installed. Every job site has their unique characteristics, and on that site, when we first went into the project, we were actually not the first contractor called out. We were the 4th or 5th contractor called out. The customer had a severe water problem, to the point where the patio now is, it was standing water with green algae and mosquito larvae before we got there. The excavator that actually put her basement in and did all of her grading work came back and tried to fix the problem for her, and he failed. The plumbing contractor came out, and a number of other contractors came out. Some tried, others just looked at it and quit. Long story short, when we got there and we started working, what we found was that we had about 2 to 3 feet of soil that needed to be removed, and we needed to bridge the area. So we brought 3 to 6 inch rock in. And we're talking about a rock with minimum size of about a softball up to somewhere like a large grapefruit. We put that in place and we packed that. We put that for 2 feet. Then we took 3/4 clear drainage aggregate. We put that in for a depth of 12 inches. We modified the entire grade to run down to our drain tile, which you've seen in the video, so that that system would collect everything. Then what we did is we ran the system out and away from our house and made the entire system collect water instead of just underneath the patio. So the whole thing was free draining. And then it was put to the ultimate test 2 days after installation. One of the heaviest rainfalls that we've had of the July 2009 season occurred just, like I said, days after it was completed. And then another rainfall came 2 days later. When you saw the final video footage there, that was just 24 hours after the last rainfall, and it was dry. The system is working, the customer is ecstatic. Like I said, every job is unique and has their own characteristics that need and challenges that need to be addressed. And here we have another unique job site that we've done. This one is a raised patio. The customer wanted a patio that was open and inviting, yet accessible from the lower yard. What we came up with was we needed not one, not two, but 3 staircases to accomplish this. So we have a center staircase with this patio, framed by 2 raised planter beds. The customer was also a gardener by heart, so we wanted to provide her with something that she could put her plants in and make her own every year, give her own touches to. So we came up with the idea of adding these raised planter beds. The kids and pets and people, visitors that come to the site have 3 access points. They have this center one, which we highlighted with this framed carving, and then put the master staircase in, and then we have another staircase on the far end, and we mirrored that staircase with a 3rd one on this end. The uniqueness about this job is that this project is actually above the sill plate of the house. And that is dangerous territory to tread, to be quite frank with you. What we had to do to accomplish this job, and you'll see it in the details, is we actually built a retaining wall along the foundation of the house underground to create a barrier between the soil and the 2x6 framing of the house. After we put the retaining wall underground, we retained all of this soil back here. We used aluminum fascia and applied that to the exposed 2x6 framing of the house. We then used a weathered block. Since this is a log home, we wanted something that was aged and would match with the rustic look of this setting. So we used a weathered block. Now a weathered block is a little different from a standard paver in that it's been tumbled to make it look aged. So we did that. We did a few things like that. We also used weathered stone in the retaining wall. And we just did everything we could to make this fit with this situation.